wonder. Makes no difference. Tell me, daddy, tell me, are those men in that big crowd? Can you tell me why they're dancing? What makes each one act so proud? This and that, he answered. It's the tune the brass band play. It's the men who made us what we are. And you know I'd have to say, makes no difference where you wander, makes no difference where you roam. You don't have to stop and ponder for a place to call your own. When they ask where were you born, lad, be proud to stand up and say that your home's the land of Uncle Sam, the good old USA. Hi there, everyone. As you can see, I'm just arranging my dice. Let's see if you can get a better look at that. These are all the dice I have in my collection at the moment. I have my names for them and I have certain settings for them. These are my Comic-Con dice. I got these at a Comic-Con convention and I like them because it's got a certain amount of dice you can't find anywhere else. So up until this point, this is the standard amount of dice. This, I believe, is a, 22-sided die? 23-sided die. 24-sided die, sorry. So this is a 24-sided die. As you can see, it's quite strange looking. Forgive the chipped paintwork on the nails. I'm getting them redone at some point. So this is 24-sided die. I believe, let's double check this, but this might be a 30-sided die. And the way I check that is go to the 1, and the side opposing the 1 is the highest number, 30. This heckin' big boy here is my 60-sided die. And these I've actually never used in a single campaign. I never found a use for them, but I think they're rather neat. These here are the dice that came with the starter set of Dungeons & Dragons. So these are very basic, kind of shiny metallic blue dice. Oh no, I dropped one. It's gone to the angels. But these are just basic, not expensive, didn't pay a dime for them dice. Oh man, I'm annoyed I've lost that die. Should I get up and get it? That is the age-old conundrum, isn't it? No, I shouldn't. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. Do you know the worst part? This dice here, you might notice, is not shiny. It's a regular blue dice. I've already lost one from this set. At least it's not my fancy dice. Small blessings. Twisted small blessings. Where should we go next? This die has a lot of sentimental value for me because it's one I stole from my high school, which is a little while ago that I was there, but yeah, it's a 8-sided die. You know, so stole that. And I use it along with this set, which is the first set of die, or dice, I suppose. I don't know why I've been saying die, that I actually ever bought, which are the granite dice. Oh, I'm so glad you're all here. Hello. Now these granite dice were the first ones I ever bought, and as you can see, I am in fact missing one. So I put this in the place of the missing die. I really do hate that I no longer have full sets. But you know, you just have to accept your losses, like that six-sided die that's now gone forever. Let it go. Let it go. It's fine. It's not one of the pointy ones. Next up, we have, this is another set of boring dishwater dice. I believe this came with my Call of Cthulhu set. Is that every single one of them? Yes. So this Call of Cthulhu didn't splash out with the same as Dungeons and Dragons actually gave me colored dice. These are just very basic white dice. They get the job done, but you know, a lot of things do, and I doubt that the color would have added much of an extra cost, so they could have splashed out. What actually annoys me, and we'll get to this, is the Call of Cthulhu series, Chaosium. The people who make that actually make their own dice. They have fancy dice, but they don't put them in the starter set. Instead, you get these dull as dishwater white dice. I don't know if that's a phrase that many people know anymore. Dull as dishwater might be regional to where I grew up. Anyway, we also have a little collection. I guess I should start with where it begins, which are these dice here. I hope they show upright in the camera. They can look almost a bit rosy sometimes in certain cameras, so I hope you actually get the effect that they look quite bloodied, and you know, this is what I call my bloody bones, you know? My bloody bones. And what do you get after you go from bloody bones? Well, you get aged bones. These are my aged bones. You can see they kind of got a strange, kind of dullish hue to them. And then what do you get after you go from aged bones? You get bleached bones. So this collection is my bleached bones, you know, the ones that have been out in the sun too long. Next up, these are my, and I'm annoyed because there is actual dice that are officially the color out of space dice, but these are my color out of space dice. They're bright and colorful, you know. Obviously, if you know the story of the color out of space, then I physically couldn't get dice that were the color from out of space, because I would have been driven more mad than I already am. This is my most recent set. These have good memories around them. This is my little higgledy-piggledy collection where you got to choose your own dice. And I chose these to all kind of vaguely represent different Lovecraft stories. Good memories associated with these ones. Oh, sorry. I said those are my most recent. These are my most recent. As you can see, these ones are quite different from the others being standard text. I do hope I'm not boring you. These are Call of Cthulhu dice. This is specifically, forgive me, Hastia's dice, which actually, fun fact, time for a fun fact, time for the most fun fact you've ever heard. It's going to be so funny. Ready for the funnest fact ever. This is the fun fact. Hastia is not a creation of Lovecraft. Instead, it was a creation of Robert W. Chambers. I'm reading that off my you can barely see it down there, my bookshelf. And I've got it right there, The King in Yellow, Robert W. Chambers. So he invented Hastia. And those are it's associated with that. So, you might be wondering why I've got all these dice out. And to be honest, it's no particular reason except to exemplify the fact that today we will be reading through some, what would you say? Tabletop books, so I can plan out my campaign. No, yep, so you're going to be here for that. And obviously I'll get your observations as we go. You know, classic stuff. I don't know if the sound of dice are relaxing or not. I quite frankly can't say. When they ask, when were you born, lad? Be proud to stand up and say that your home's the land of Uncle Sam, the good old USA. I could probably sing some less Americanized songs if I knew any. I could say, God save our gracious queen, you know, or Rule Britannia. What other, do I know any other songs from, I know the girl from Impanina. What else? I know the entire, I think I know the entire Australian national anthem. But as national anthems go, and I do not wish to upset anyone, it's not one of the best, you know. But not a lot of national anthems are. They're all too old school. If I was to redesign the national anthem, make it, I know the Americans are going to step in with their Star Spangled Banner, but goodness, it's boring. It's as dull as it ever could be, you know. And I mean that for basically every national anthem. The only one I really enjoyed, and this is going to be so roll your eyes, yep, that's twisted, was the USSR anthem. I thought it was quite powerful. Nothing to say about the USSR. They were nasty blokes a lot of the time, but their anthem was quite nice, especially when it was translated into English, which is the one I know better. Yeah, which is, how does it go? I can't remember how it even starts. You know, but I won't sing it. But yes, the USSR anthem, you know. Back in USSR, you don't know how lucky you are, boy. Back in USSR. Messing with you, I know what it actually is. I'm trying to think of any good national anthems. Do any of you know the Australian national anthem? Because that's the one I actually know best out of, you know, obviously you've got God Save the Queen, but I know the Australian one because it has the word girt in it. Can anyone here tell me what girt means? Because quite frankly, I do not know. You know? How does it start? I keep thinking of Rule Britannia now. This is off topic, but we're not stopping. You can't stop me. So it's no, just keep thinking of Rule Britannia. Fuck. I genuinely thought I knew the Australian national anthem. Ah, well, bugger it. And the reason I bring up the Australian national anthem is because of this book here. Now, there might be a thump. Oh, no, I've done it well. Which is... Oh, can't get it in the frame. Terra Australis, which is a Call of Cthulhu expansion based in Australia, which is where this campaign is going to take place. If any of you have any questions, by the way, because this is more of an open discussion than my last kind of freaky deaky one. So you can talk to me, actually, you know. I'll respond as best I can. But if I could just remember the first word, the Australian national anthem, I'd be set. And I just can't even do that. But if you want to say hello, you can. How long have I been playing? Honestly, not too long. In the grand scheme of things, like 3 years, maybe. Specifically Call of Cthulhu, you know. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since high school. You know, I was very cool and popular, but Call of Cthulhu is a more recent thing. I actually was mentored by one of the people who works on Call of Cthulhu, so, you know? I agree that they're good enough to play. But, you know, you deal with these things. So, we're going to explore this book. I just started playing for the past summer, so it's cool to see that I'm not the only one. And you've been playing D&D for 22 years, as long as I've been alive. Not giving away my age, I said almost. Could be more or less, or a lot more. Could be 30 for all you know. But I noticed you paint your nails, and they peel off. Nail polish, less harsh than using them. And they make peel off nail polish. Oh, well, I actually deliberately go for the grunge look of kind of chipped nails. So when they get chipped, I naturally keep them that way. This is just the last breaths of that, where they're getting so chipped it looks like I've just smudged paint on my nails. But for a time, it looks good. I just remembered the national anthem. Do you want me to sing the Australian national anthem? I can if you want, but it's not necessary. Oh, lovely, lovely kind of colour here. Edgy boy. Bugger off, I'm not edgy, I just like grunge. Don't I look like a grunge, you know, kind of... Okay, so it's... Let's see if I can remember. So this is for the Call of Cthulhu Terra Australis. So it's... Australians, let us all rejoice, for we are young and free. With golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in gracious lips of beauty rich and rare. In history's page mark every stage, advance Australia fair. In joyous strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair. And then there's a second verse, which I don't think is as common to be said, and I think this one I'm less confident about, which is, beneath our radiant Southern Cross we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of us renowned of all the lands. And then I forget the rest of the thing. It's not treason if I don't mess it up. I want to play D&D, but I don't have the stuff. But I'm too scared because I don't know what to do. Honestly, they have starter packs for every role-playing game you can imagine. Just get the starter pack, it'll tell you everything you need to know. But this is for the more advanced player who wants to suddenly be in Australia. I wonder who wrote this. I wonder if... I'm just going to have a quick check, because it's probably not true, but I'm just checking to see if someone I know wrote this. Nope, unfortunately not. Oh, well. Clear credit. It's because this, of course, if you know tabletops, you know they get remastered quite a lot. And this is actually not the first edition of Terra Australis. The first edition came out in 1986, so this is a long-running tradition. Now we have a table of contents here. We have Australian history and geography, Australians, resources from 1920s Australia, Australian cities, Alcheringa, which must be something to do with Aboriginals, because Alcheringa, yeah. And the mythos in Australia. You don't know what the Australian flag looks like. Goodness. So it's essentially a nice royal blue with the Union Jack in the corner, if you know what that flag is. And so it's royal blue, Union Jack in the corner, a star in one side, and the Southern Cross, which is a collection of stars forming a cross in the other. There you go. You didn't even know they had a flag. Every nation on Earth has a flag, as it happens. Well, every country on Earth has a flag. Every single one. Isn't that fun? Even a country which has no native population, Antarctica, has a flag. It's not creative, but, you know. And a lot of people assume that the English flag, this is just a thing, is the Union Jack, but it's not. The Union Jack is the British flag. The English flag is incredibly boring, so it's a white background with a red cross over the top. And that's all it is. The American flag is very well known, I believe. You know, a bit brightly coloured, you know, the stars and everything. I don't know if there's any more interesting flags that I know of too well. Ooh, look at that picture, isn't that beautiful? That is Uluru, which is a very special place to a lot of Aboriginal people. You know, it's their holy ground. European exploration. So I'm just trying to take a vague look through this. Goodness. Captain Blight's second mutiny. Given the volatile convict population of the early colonies and the harshness of the conditions, it might be expected that a violent uprising and rebellion would be the inevitable result. Ironically, there was only one successful rebellion during the colonial era by jailers launched a military coup against the governor. Would you believe it? Could you read a sentence in character? I tend to think all my characters sound the same, but if you can give me a character, I can pretend to be them and read a sentence. Their placement is coming. So that's interesting. It's just early Australia. The progressive exploration of Australia. You can have a look at the little graph there that shows the trajectory, the expanse of Australia. Would you believe that? Even in 1875, when the place was colonized heavily, these little pockets here still hadn't been found. Crazy. Of course, now we have 100% mapped out, you know, the country. No, please, Soleil. I can try, hold on. Explorations of Australian continent were perilous. Expeditions set out into the harsh and largely unknown conditions, endeavors to survive and trek to the uncharted lands. There you go. You know, that kind of stuff. One moment, please. Sorry for the dead air there. I just got a message and they needed to say that. So we got Lost Explorers. What else do we have? Hold on, just reading through the comments here. Maiden hence giving us free history lesson. Floof readers, Floof. Oh, Floof does a number on my voice. Because Floof's voice is like really high up and it doesn't really match well with my natural kind of deep gravitas. But I can try. Oh, this is going to be so morbid. Burke and Wills. The Royal Society in Victoria organised an audacious expedition in 1861 to cross the continent from south to north and back again. I did that really bad, but, you know, Klaus. This novelty is wearing off. I will do a couple more, but Cooper's Creek were instructed to wait 3 months for their return. It was later discovered that Burke and Wills had run out of provisions some 150 miles short of their goal and had turned back. They made it back to Cooper's Creek Depot, but too late. Their colleagues had given up on them for dead and returned south, leaving early on the very next day when the pair made the deposit. Despite retrieving some supplies left buried beneath a tree marked Dig, Burke and Wills died from exhaustion and possibly poisoning. Only one member of the expedition, a man named King, survived after being discovered weak and emaciated by the Urubamba Aboriginal people. There you go, you degenerates. The Gold Rush, Working Pleasant, the Great War. If my country is worth living in, it's worth fighting for. Save our empire. Keep the flag flying. Isn't that a bit morbid? Do you ever stop recording because you just end up laughing? Not really. I just, I keep rolling with the punches. I'm trying to find. So then we have Uluru, or as it was also called, Ayers Rock. Although I believe that's not as appropriate anymore, as that was like a white settler's name for a land that was already very, very important to a group of people, In any case, the monolithic rock is home to caves, cracks, and canyons, as well as ancient paintings and carvings. The Ananga people viewed it as a sacred place and have lived in the area for 30,000 years. Goodness. Numerous stories of dreaming are told about Uluru and its creation. One tale says Uluru's creation was a result when the earth rose up in grief when two ancestral groups battled to the death over a beautiful lizard woman. Now that is an idea to steal. The blood of those killed in battle can be seen in the red rock's color. Goodness. During the early 20th century, tourists were able to climb Uluru. Oh, goodness. Despite Aboriginal tradition saying only certain male elders were able to ascend the rock. However, in modern time, visitors are asked not to climb. Indeed, climbing Uluru is dangerous, with over 30 people dying while trying to reach the top. Now, to me, that's just disrespectful. Don't climb a sacred rock. Australians. So there we have some Aboriginals dressed up in their kind of native attire, I suppose. They look wonderful. I believe they have scarification, if you notice that, which is so interesting. Working on Australian nationals. What type of history book is this? Well, I'll tell you, it's a book about monsters. I'm just in the history section, so we're trying to move past that. Ooh, this is going to be fun. Australian slang. So this is Australian slang. Apples. Okay, everything will be fine. So an example of that is, she's apples. She'll be right. Arvo, this afternoon, or after. Aussie, Australian. Banana bender, a person from Queensland. Aric, to heckle or jeer at someone or something, particularly in sport, by favouring one team over the other. Bastard, well, we know what that one is. Battler, an underdog who keeps trying, or a person who's unlucky through no fault of their own. Beaut/beauty, pronounced beauty. Someone said I can't do a good Australian accent, and I felt extremely offended. can do a very good Australian accent, but I don't even need to do it. Hold on. I can. Billabong. A small body of water. Billy. Camp killer. Shaped and painted like a tin. Useful for making teas, stews, soups, and boiling rags. Block. Head. Don't use your block or knock off your block. Bloke. Male person. Bloody. Known as a great Australian adjective. It can also be inserted for words and everything, as Kanga bloody ruse. Blotto means drunk. Bludger, someone who stopped working for a while. Blue, a fight or a quarrel. Bluey, name for an Australian dog. Digger, member or ex-member of the Australian Imperial Force. Dingo, native Australian dog. Native Australian dog. Dinkum, this noun in reference to the real thing, so it's fair dinkum. Dob in, to break confidence by rattling on someone or the authorities. Dong, to hit forcefully. Dunny, lavatory. Oh, did that one bad. No, I sound more. Fuck, I've gone Kiwi. Australians kind of. Fuck. Australians sound like this. I have a good Australian accent. I have a good Australian accent. God damn it. Fuck you. Oh, bugger. Stream might have froze. We doing alright, or is the stream frozen? Oh no. My internet seems to be okay. You sure? Alright, I'll take your word for it. Larrikin. Someone who acts with careless disregard for social conventions, or hoodlum or gang member. Mate. Friend or companion. Pommy. Any person from England. Okay. Tell me if this is super fucking boring, by the way. Pong. Unpleasant odor. Push. Gang. Rat house. Oh, that's a good one. Going to the fucking rat house. That's an asylum. Sacked. Australian workers getting fired. Sheila. Female person. Schnicked. Intoxicated. Shoot through. To depart abruptly. Smoko. A work break, often associated with a cigarette. Station. Large property in the outback. In America, it would be called a ranch. In Australia, it's called a station. Stroth. Exclamation of surprise. Contraction of God's truth. Swagman. Man who travels the bush. Tucker. Food from a tucker bag. What do I like to do in my free time? I do like to cook, but I also just like to write. I write a lot of this stuff. You know? I just try and relax and when I'm not working, which I do a lot, because if you didn't know, I'm doing my honours degree for university. Sorry. Are you reading some ancient dictionary? Feels like people are popping in or out. No, this is a Call of Cthulhu book. Well, let's get to the fun part then, hey? Why don't we do that? Notable Australian asylums. Shit. Oh, there we go. We're getting to the fun stuff now. Look at that. Love it. Strange Australia. River monsters. Located to the west of northern Sydney and the Hawkesbury River. They're said to dwell a river monster. Accounts talk of a long neck which sits on a snake-like head attached to a large body with flippers and an eel-like tail, crushing and abandoning boats. Strangers track the riverbanks and usually disappears, going to the river. Indeed, the Drog people who once lived there depicted water monsters in rock art. Interesting. This is kind of like an ancient thing. Then we have Strange Australia. Ooh, this is aging badly. Quarantine Station. North Head Quarantine Station on the north side of Sydney Opera House operated between 1832 to 1984, holding and processing those coming to start new life in Australia. Each person arriving was held in quarantine for up to 40 days to ensure they carried no infectious diseases such as smallpox, bubonic plague, or typhoid. Record shows 600 people died while held there, and many others suffered from barbaric treatment. Years later, visitors have alleged the site seeing eerie lights in the hospital ward and the sensation of cold hands touching them, and ghostly apparitions of children wandering the corridors. I mean, the barbaric treatment's bad, but fuck, I wish we would have all had quarantine stations. Plague. So this was even during the period where they had quarantine stations. In 1921, thanks largely to poor housing conditions, bubonic plague broke out in inner Sydney, brought by rats on the steamer Wherry. The plague reached great panic in the city, causing 10 deaths. The local authorities fought a losing battle to improve the sanitation of the city. Rat catchers caught 8,018 rats in the subsequent raids and attempted to incinerate rubbish. The incineration of so much waste created pails of heavy smoke, causing outbreaks of respiratory illness. How ghastly. Strange Australia, beneath Sydney. Since colonial times, secret subterranean worlds is believed to exist beneath Sydney's streets. Here, below the eyes of law and order, smugglers and other criminal activities could be undertaken. The network of tunnels connecting various points of the city, be it pubs, waterfronts, dens of iniquity, and unshot, little known. Perhaps stranger than the rumours concerning Lake St. James, which speaks of unusual underground bodies of water in which albino eels lurk. He looks like he's met them. Strange Australia. The Red Bank Tunnels. The Red Bank Tunnels. Picton, about an hour southwest of Sydney, proceeds 590 feet through the hill that was location for many suicides who would throw themselves in front of oncoming trains. The tunnel was in service from 1867 to 1919, but closed down due to numerous deaths. One such suicide was Emily Border, who died in 1919. Emily's ghost is believed to haunt the tunnel. Very frightening. One of the most interesting of Sydney's many ferries, after the one that arrived in Sydney in 1925, the Alert, the vessel once owned by devout cultist to the Great Cthulhu, which was ultimately piloted by Gustav Schossem, who rammed it into the Great Old One. As related in Lovecraft's Call of Cthulhu from the late 1925, the vessel reconditioned after some order in the Pacific, belonging to a great hunter of steam navigating companies, which operates it as a regular ferry in and around Sydney Harbour. It can often be found docked at Woolloomooloo. How frightening is that? Catch a train has a very different meaning now. I'm afraid I might be naive, and I do not know that meaning. Another thing I'm planning. For my campaign is the implementation of card games. I've got some actual vintage cards here. You can see they're real vintage cards, which are lovely for the time period I have it set in. But I got a little drawn in, and I also bought, you might have seen this in the previous thing, these vintage, well, faux vintage Victorian style cards. They're beautiful. And I might use these for the campaign as well, it depends. I love you, babe. This is what a Joker looks like. Kind of in the style of the classic Victorian era. Now these cards are, because they're new, extremely slick. Like I'm probably going to lose some of these if I keep messing around with them. This is these cards, which are nice and pliable from years of use. So you just pick a card, any card, you know. It's very on brand for me to own vintage cards and faux vintage cards, I believe. So, if you have any other questions while you're here, it seems like a very chill night tonight. Not as many people on board, but that's okay. Investigations, authority, the Theosophical Society. I see. Melbourne at a glance. Why live in Melbourne? Why visit Melbourne? Getting from there to another country. Theophis Nosopha. Interesting. Age 350 plus. Immortal wizard. Born in England, 1568. Noack is a former monk who observes the quest to learn more about the universe, leading him towards the forbidden book of Abbott's keeping. His magical research and practice have given him the ability to see into the past and into the future, as well as other dimensions. However, what he sees has long since driven him mad. A resident of Melbourne since 1843, Noack was originally drawn to Australia by his curiosity about Aboriginal cultures and mythology. Subsequently, he has become quite the expert in the field and lively correspondence with a range of contacts both nationally and internationally. In the pitch blackness of the Merry Creek tunnels, see Strange Australia, Merry Creek tunnels nearby. Noah can safely perform his magics, summoning things from beyond and viewing other worlds. Spooky as hell. Mm-hmm. Nice bit of fun here. The Australian Cemetery. The Catman. Astola Homestead lies to the west of the Melbourne Centre, the coast of Port Phillip Bay. Here, a homeless man, Edward Gonsett, was found murdered in the toilets outside the homestead in 1909. It is believed that he loved eating fish, catching them, and keeping dead fish on his person. Due to his distinctly pictorial smell, he was often surrounded and followed by cats. Legend speaks that when he was killed, the cat sought revenge on the unknown, never-caught murderer. Someday, when using the toilet facilities outside the homestead, you can feel invisible cats stroking your feet. How very frightening. And then there's Perth. We can skip Perth. And Adelaide. Strange Doctor. Dr. Shelter. In the 1900s, the doctor named Shelter became crazed after the death of his wife and child. He built a hut in the forest surrounded by the Clifton Manor and used this construction to experiment for unknown reasons. Tales tell of horrific screams of agony from his human test subjects. In later years, the area was claimed to be haunted by the doctor's spirit and those in his care. Terrifying. Well, that was a fun little jaunt down memory lane. For now, is there anything else you'd like to do? I have a flip through this. Just let me know. This is Shadow over Stillwater. Against the mythos in the down, darker trail setting. If you guys have any interest in what you want me to do, just let me know. Give us hugs. I'm afraid I can't do that, my friend. It is simply a screen. Pat, pat. Twisted. So, have you been murdering now? I'm not murdering anyone, just reading a book. Commonly. The Shadow over Stillwater is a short campaign consisting of 3 linked adventures set in the old southwest New Mexico territory. The campaign is suitable for a group of any size. I'm a magician. The card I have to hear more about. I'm a magician. The cards I'd love to hear about. Not the Fox Theory 101. So, not the theory. Alright. Well, these cards were bought at a garage sale. These ones here, refer to. They're a very early era, but probably around 1950s to 60s. They're just your very basic style of card, you see. They're the kind you'd see, the most common design, these kind of cards. Nothing special. Although that is the Ace of Spades, and if you get that reference, good on you. Do what you want to do. That's what I say. The Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades. I'll just shuffle these for a bit. forget, I'll do it sometime. I'm hooked up on the button time. I'm hooked up on the button. Oh, won't you do it sometime? Taking it too far. Fine, electrify mine. Electrify my golden tooth. Can't recognize mine without finding some. What's my favorite card? Ace of Spades. You'd think it would be the Joker, but no, Ace of Spades. Electrify. Oh. So this is going to be used in the campaign when I'm going to do a 21 reference. So I'm going to be the one card in the center. A king is a 10. So you can give the player that card face down. They can look at that card. There you go. You'll see your card, which is a 4. You're trying to get to 21. So you currently have 14. You can say, hit me. If you want to get higher, now you have 15. Now it's risky to go again because you're at 15, you're trying to get to 21. And if you get another 10, well, then you're already out. So hit you, then you're doing quite well. 15. Let's just double check now. So you're at 15, now you're at 17. Would you be willing to risk that again? Well, if you were, I'm afraid you'd be out. But let's say you didn't. You're staying at 17. Then I would do the same. 3 cards. We'll see who's the bigger winner. So I got a 5. Ooh, and a king. I'm already out. The winner of that round, you get the cards. And my cards get discarded. So this is the game that they'll be playing. Similar concept. Put down 5 clubs. You get your 1 card, 21. You lift it up. You've got a 9. That means 14 total. So you're gonna stay? Cool. 14. Place another card, because most people wouldn't stay at 14. And you check. Oof, look at that. You're already busted. So those cards go to the dealer. You see how this works? Draw the card you want. Try not bust. Now the fun part is if you get an ace. Now aces are fun because you'd assume ace, that's a 1, but not quite. An ace is either 1 or a 10. So you can choose that. So you get an ace, and then you get a 4 and another ace. And, well, if these were both 10, you'd be out of the running. These are both 1s, so then you're totally fine. Then say, for example, your next one, you get a king. Like that, no. So how these both have to be 1s, and there you got a king. See how it works? So the aces require a bit more strategy. You choose how do you play those. Just a fun bit of rules for you. Drop out of that one. Not the most interesting thing in the world. Oh well. That's just the basics of how you play. This live stream is just basically a time filler. I needed to record more, but it's also difficult at the moment. But I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the extra content. I'm going to be trying to put out more content more of the time, primarily because, in all honesty, it's my main... Sorry, I shouldn't phrase that. It's my only source of income now. So Patreon is all I've got. I don't have a job anymore outside of creating videos. So I'm very much reliant on the people to keep liking my work. And I know that, my popularity can go. But hopefully it's going to keep me stable enough to pay my bills and stuff. Yeah. So I've got some more videos lined up, and it should be really fun. I hope they come out alright, you know? This skull smells like candy canes. This is the fun fact. I think this one smells like the ocean or something. I don't know. My job, I used to work in a kitchen, as it happens. I used to be like a, work in a kitchen. But things change. You move on, and well, right now I'm just relying on all my wonderful fans, and I'm doing great. I'm surviving, and well, right now I'm just relying on all my wonderful fans, and I'm doing great. I'm surviving, and I'm really, really happy about it. Videos you created. Well, that's alright. I need to worry about that. It's not that I'm worried about, but thank you. What's my favorite anime? It's Cowboy Bebop, of course. Me and the friends used a regular deck to play a card of tarot readings. Well, I don't get how that would work, as I don't understand the concept of tarot. You shuffle the deck yourself, and a couple of shuffles, and then you place down your cards. You got this one, and this one. That's your present, that's your past, that's your future, something like that. Or is it past, present, future? That would make more sense. The ace means something or other, and this means this means death. And apparently death doesn't mean death. Death means new beginnings. It's a whole bunch of confusing stuff for me. I certainly don't understand it, but it's always there for people who do, people who like that stuff, The first ASMR channel you subscribe to. That is so sweet of you to say. I love that. I try my best out here, and oh my god, can I just say, this has become, I should change this. I'll change the title when I'm actually uploading it, and it start off with normal stuff and go into rants. But my new apartment is above a fucking flight path, and my next door neighbors just use their house for storage, so there's constantly vans coming and picking shit up. So recording is actually a nightmare, genuinely, because when you go to record, you'll be like, "Hey everyone, we're doing classic ASMR," and then you have in the background, and it'll just kill you. Or you'll just have like a car pull up. Ugh, nightmare. So that's just me venting about this kind of stuff. They could subtitle Academia Cups. The spade is like the sword. The heart is like a cup and sucks. Tarot, I feel like, and this is just a vibe, that a lot of my fans seem to cross over with like people who believe in magic. You know what I mean? That's not an insult, it's just a fact. I get that vibe that a lot of people who like my work also like magic. It's quite funny considering the kind of person I am, very rational, put your spectacles on, talk about evolution, kind of thing. Not that I'm one of those assholes, who's just like, nothing you believe in is correct, because I read a documentary, and the documentary said that we all came from this and this and this, Yeah, well, that's just what's going on. I love these glasses, though. Can you imagine wearing these back in the day? So uncomfortable. You just jam them on your nose. I shave my face, but oh, I don't want to get burned. Magic is just further dimensional physics. That is one way to look at it, I suppose. I think probably because you explore a lot of magical creatures, which is interesting. That's true. Yes, I explore a ton of magical creatures, Lamias, and, pukas, sea dragons, all that stuff. Yeah, definitely. That plays a part into it. But I don't know. Do the people who watch my videos think those creatures are real? I wonder that. You know, how much is the crossover of being like, this is just a fantasy thing, and some people being like, well, those things are out there, you know, but you're just playing as them. I think it's a fun hobby for sure, but tarot reading is more used for reassurance of what you already know. I don't quite understand that. I dabble and dabble in witchcraft, mostly research, but I learn about it every day. I'm a hardcore skeptic, sorry, not sorry. It's that kind of attitude which gives skeptics a bad vibe. I'll tell you what, you know, sorry, not sorry, but your opinions are wrong. Not insulting you, I'm just being like, I don't know, there was a thing around the 2010s vibe where being an atheist became the most hip and trendy thing to do ever. And got tons of channels being like, isn't it cool how God's not real? Like, yeah, that's fine as a belief, and there's a lot of people who subscribe to that. I keep my opinions, you know, very out of the window, but I don't know, just as long as someone's belief system isn't hurting anyone, which is definitely the main thing, because some people's beliefs straight up do. But if your belief isn't hurting anyone, then why be a dick about it? And I have definitely fallen into the whole thing of being a dick about someone's beliefs, and I'm trying my best to be a better person about that, you know? I would like to do witchcraft, but I'm not allowed to. Well, that's such a shame. You should be able to explore all kind of options in life. So what, for instance, if you asked what you should be doing deep down, you probably already know what you should be doing. Yeah, I get that. It's like a psychological thing. I'm not saying they're real, but to be honest, they might be. Like the universe is huge. I'm not saying what's not real. What's the context here? Belief in magic and belief in science isn't mutually exclusive. I'm a very scientific person, but I also believe magic. It's not a thing. I suppose you could look at it from the perspective, if you're going off that it's just science we don't understand, which, yes, but people are always like, oh, you know, magic is just science we don't understand. No, it's not, because there's certain elements of magic which just have to be outward from science. For example, like saying a spell and something happening. That's not really science. Science doesn't work on a person's actions causing something monumental to happen in terms of saying a word and spontaneous combustion. It's not really the way the world works. You know, humans aren't that special. Unless, of course, magic's real, in which case that is the way the world works, but it's not really science. It's more like a, I don't know, religious thing. This is really off topic, but I'm glad people are getting involved in this, you know? Everyone is technically agnostic, no one even knows. No, agnostic is a belief system, so you have to, like, you have to choose to be agnostic here. Like, agnostics, like, I've made the choice to be like, I don't know. Christians have made the choice to be like, I know it's this. You know, it's all a choice thing. I don't think the creatures are real, but it wouldn't be much more interesting if the world if they were. God, it would be. I wish monsters were real. Isekai me away. Boom, get me out of here. I wouldn't do well in Isekai. I really wouldn't. Feel. I used to feel these shows too. Middle school was pretty argumentative. Yeah, it's toxic communities. They honestly are. I know what everyone was talking about, but I like your voice. That's really appreciated. Just trying to, like, when I get nervous, I sing, and you know, what do you call it? She may contain the urge to run away, but hold her down, soggy clothes and breeze blocks. You remember that one? Sister, seen your fevers give me again. Of the kisses you ever seen a fool's butt. Do you know where the wild things go? They go around to take your honey. Cozy, then the breakfast on the scene, when we're all alone. What's my favorite band? Oh, tricky. Obviously, I could be like kind of basic and say Queen. I love Queen, but like you gotta be like you're probably talking about more modern bands. It's really difficult because I'm a music fan, so there's a lot of bands I like. I don't know how, but they found me. They're a recent one. They're nice. I also like Psychedelic Porn Crumpet. They're good. God, what else do I love? Cult of Dionysus. Man, there's a bunch. Too many to think about, to be honest. So you just gotta pick. Crime Wives and Ho Hellos are really good. I don't know what style of music they are. You'll have to let me know. That sounds very interesting. You know, I was thinking about these rocks I paid for on Etsy. They were advertised as magnetic rocks. I just don't think they are. This is unrelated, but I think I got kind of lied to here. Let's answer some more of your questions. I love Cream. I grew up on them. Me too. Who's your favorite artist? My favorite artist? He's my favorite artist. Da Vinci. There you go. Peach Pit is so good. I don't know any of these bands. They must be more regionalized. Oh, I love Car Seat Headrest. They're also really good. I don't know if you chose this type of genre, but they're 100% recommend. I don't know the Gazelle Twins either, no. I don't know many of these bands, turns out. Wow. And I thought I was hip and trendy over here. Turns out I'm just another loser who doesn't know enough about music. Can you believe it? Alright, let's see how many of you have EMP. Now hold up a card. You have to write in the comments what the card is. Let's see how magic you all are. Here's the card. What's this card? Hey, by the way, down to the sky, magnetic rocks exist. It's just iron, you know? Like rocks have a lot of iron in them. If they have enough density, then yeah. Anyway, I'm not getting sidetracked. I need to see if any of you have EMP. I've got 5 clubs. I need at least 3 more responses, then we'll do it. That's a nice sound. I like that. Oh, okay. You ready? I'm going to flip it over now. And none of you have EMP. Oh, what a shame. Oh, okay. You ready? I'm going to flip it over now. And none of you have EMP. Oh, what a shame. The Ace of Hearts. Bugger. I don't know if Kid Bloom is banned by loved, but I kissed a girl. She kissed me. Oh, that's nice. Oh, we got another one. What's this card? How many of you are psychic? It's a little hard through live streams, I get that. Let's see if you can get it. Come on. King of Hearts? King of Hearts. That's all we got so far for this card. Ready? I don't know anything about cards. There's only so many things. Iron isn't naturally magnetic. Yes, it is. It just is. Like there's phosphorus and non-phosphorus metals. No, ferrous and non-ferrous metals. Iron is naturally magnetic. Sorry. Hold on. When I say magnetic, I get where you might be confused. It can be magnetized. This is what I was referring to. Like if you put a magnet near it, it'll stick to it. Not the fact that it is in itself a magnet. That's probably where the confusion's coming from. No, nothing I don't think is naturally actually magnetic. I think you need to apply a charge. Yeah. No, yeah. See, we're on the same page now. I was getting confused. I just meant that This is completely off topic. Anyway, what's this card? We've had 3 clovers. Clovers? That's not a thing. I think you mean clubs. Okay, that's fine. Clubs. 10 of clubs. A lot of clubs, weirdly. You're wrong. It's the king of spades. Everyone here's bad at magic. One last try. What's this? 5 of diamonds. Ooh. 5 of diamonds. Wow. Okay, it's an interesting choice. 5 of diamonds again. Okay, you're really doubling down on the 5 of diamonds thing. I'm gonna flip it. Real soon. I'm gonna flip it. There, you suck. This is just me kind of relaxing at the moment. I'm gonna change the title of this thing to be like just relaxing with me, because I kind of gave up on the whole doing the what do you call it? Actual work thing. I don't know. But it's nice to speak to all my. I guess I don't want to call you fans, but I guess I don't know what else to call you. I've never even named the fan base. We should do that now. I know that some fan bases get named, and we're a small fan base, but it would be nice. So if you have any names for what to call the fan base, we can make that official. Friends, you can't say no. Imagining. That's strange. The whispers. Nah, it's kind of a bit meh. You know what I mean? It's the same as when people call me dark instead of twisted. I know that I've got dark and twisted whisper in the name, but calling me dark kind of makes me sound too edgy. I know twisted's not much better, but look, I chose the name and I thought it sounded catchy, and I think it kind of worked. It's unique enough that people know, you know. But the whispers. If I get enough traction on that, I guess you'll have to all be called the whispers. Since you do a lot of magic creatures, maybe the fans could be called sprites. Or spirits, sorry, I think it might be. No, I said it right, sprites. Dark people, twisted people. What other cards? What other card games do you have? Twisted Simps. Yeah, I don't know. It would be nice to have something to address you as, you know, as the collective rather than just fans. I don't know. It feels weird to say I have fans because I'm so nobody-ish. But it's really nice that I do. Genuinely, it is. I don't know. The fact that people care about the world I'm building and stuff. It's really sweet. The cultists. That could work. Yeah, but then there is my life. Well, we don't all like Lovecraft, but you know. Man, these cards have so much character. I love them. I like the new cards too, but there's something about these classic, kind of actually worn, probably aged with some cigarette smoke from like being a gambling game, tossing them out, you know. Yeah, you got a 7 of clubs. Come on, grab your cats, kind of thing. Twisted Citizens. Yeah, that is the name of my Patreon tier, Twisted Citizens. Should we call you Whisper then? I think there's already a smartest called Whisper. Twisted's fine. Wisps are good. Oh, wisps are good. Yeah, I don't mind wisps. Look, you give me a lot to think about, but wisps are nice. I guess seeing as you decide to show up, because I might not even upload this live stream, so you might as well, you know, savor it where you can, because I don't know if I'll be uploading this one. It's not really super high quality. In any case, I'm got some new videos in the works, and they should be coming out roughly within the next month, you know, if all goes according to plans. And I don't know how many of you are actually interested in the lore of my world, but it's going to be a new deity, new god, you know, for the world. which I think will be so fun. I love that because it's been ages since we introduced the last god. It actually might have been Inari. Oh well, obviously excluding the tall one because he's no longer an active god. I don't know. These are probably just my ramblings for those who are interested. But yeah, the tall one's no longer an active god. He's been cast out in the because all my stuff comes from various religions. That particular one comes from the idea of Kronos being cast out of Olympus and sent to, Tartarus. So the tall one was once the ruler of the old gods or the eldritch gods, and he used to rule the world, or one of the rulers of the world. And now he doesn't. He was thrown out by the new gods, and now he's somewhere hidden and trying to reclaim his power. But I think 150 years ago there was an uprising to try and bring him back, and that was one of the battles that everyone's favorite Sun Elf was in. He was the champion of those battles during the uprising of the Tall One 150 years ago. Yeah, so there you go. Wait, what are the time periods of Oceanside and Modern Oceanside? Well, those two worlds are straight up not connected. They're different realities, I would say. Because Modern Oceanside has the classic Oceanside characters, and those guys wouldn't live to be in modern times. They're actually two different worlds. So Modern Oceanside started, at least in the series, is shown to start Victorian era onwards. Like the Victorian, the Halloween was actually in Modern Oceanside, but in the past of Modern Oceanside, versus Classic Oceanside, which is its own thing, which is kind of semi-medieval, or I'd say about maybe 15th century. Yeah. Modern Oceanside is you dressed up your characters fashion. Pretty much, yeah. No, it is. It's just another version of the world which is modern. And I really should have. What I should do, and this is something I'll probably do when I have the time, is split up the videos into Modern Oceanside and Classic Oceanside. For example, the Petrichor, the sea dragon. If you remember him, he's actually from Modern Oceanside. He's not been shown in Classic Oceanside because he works at like Lammy Bucks and stuff, which is a genius creation by Mo, one of my good friends and artists. They invented that the Modern Oceanside version of Starbucks was Lammy Bucks, and I love that. Bro, how the fuck does the Patreon work? I just created an account. I don't think is what I was meant to do. Yeah, you create an account and you just ascribe to my. I'll be honest. It seems like my fan base just likes Mello and Soleil. Those are just the two people that everyone loves, and no one else really seems to matter. Which I'm, obviously not opposed to. Love whoever you love. If that character resonates with you, then that's great. Hey, I hope at some point I'll make a nice reference for Modern Oceanside because I love to dress up all the dudes. That's sweet. Yeah, that does sound nice. The people we know in Modern Oceanside are Salt. I don't want to hear a bunch of bring Salt back. If I want to bring him back, I'll bring him back. But Salt, he's actually in the Patreon. You can find him exclusively on Patreon, Modern Oceanside Salt. He's a bartender. He works at a bar. And I actually made this amazing, what do you call it? Cocktail little leaflet of what his bar was. Yeah, I think he's also Modern Oceanside. I don't think we've ever seen him in Classic. Because it's like, yeah, he's a Modern Oceanside character, I believe. Spoon Goblin. unclear. I never actually placed that spoon goblet. I'm new, so I don't have faves yet. I'm so glad you decided to join us. That's so sweet. No, Ren is amazing. He's another one in the running. People really like Ren. Dream Demon. Yeah, his name is actually. I think I know the one you're talking about. Are you talking about this Traveler? Are you talking about the actual, like, Prince of Dreams thing? Man, my stomach's rumbling. Because if you're talking about the Prince of Dreams, his name is Fromage. Do you have any kind of your characters? Do you ever have a character you connect with or a character based off you? Yeah, all my characters are kind of in some way based off me, I'd say. Like, genuinely, they all have at least some part of me in them, which is interesting. So many littles, I'm into your spooky boys. Yeah, I like them too. The Prince of Dreams, yeah. Yeah, that's Fromage. The Prince of Dreams' name is Fromage. Angel Boy was my fave, closely by the rest. Travel one with the night business. Is there any type of character do someone requests that you? Is there any types of character that someone requests that you refuse to do? Obviously, I do have like certain things in audios which I will just refuse, and I'm sure like it's just common sense of what I will and won't do. But character-wise, there's no characters I refuse to do for like an audio. Like I'm okay with all my characters as long as it's appropriate, you know. I think it's Mr. Caesar. You name the dream team and cheese? Yeah, I thought that was funny. Favorite dish or meal? I like chicken paprikash a lot, so maybe chicken paprikash. That's a good one. I joined at the perfect time. I don't know when you joined, but I'm talking about food, so chicken paprikash. Everyone should have that. But maybe these cards are more magic. I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know, it's interesting stuff on the channel. There was going to actually be a map of Oceanside that was fully accurate that someone was working on, but unfortunately they kind of lost contact with me, which is fine, you know, like, you know what happens. What's chicken paprikash? Chicken paprikash is a kind of homey Hungarian dish. You know, it's nice and it makes you feel like warm. It's like a chicken which has been kind of I guess grilled just lightly, so it's still like obviously raw on the inside, and then it's cooked in a rich kind of sauce which then thickens down into like a great kind of gravy to go on top of the chicken, which is it's full of a lot of cream and paprika, hence chicken paprikash, because the Hungarian word for paprika is paprikash. So it's just chicken paprika, and then it's usually served with spätzle, which is well, here's where I'm conflicted, because I wouldn't mind some tattoos, but I want to go into a bathhouse, and you're not allowed tattoos if you want to go to a bathhouse, unfortunately. So I need to think about that. I wish I could keep that for more. Not quite good at it, so I listen to the characters. I do like picking up on the references. Yeah, that's great. I love that. Oh, spätzle, yeah, spätzle with goulash. Yeah, chicken paprikash is like goulash, kind of. Oh, the accent, the accent's coming on. No, chicken paprikash is like goulash. Great question. And a papa, then you can give me just a little bit of top up there, baby, golden nuts. Are you trying to get in? Hold on. Are you trying to get into? For what? You can color them up if they're small. I don't know where the chat is. I'm kind of confused. More importantly, it's not self-dungeon button. Can I smack Soul or will he just kill me? Now, I don't know if anyone knows about spiderkin biology, because I don't think I ever went in depth with it, but spiderkin's fingers are actually razor sharp. They have like ridges that kind of like it sharpens at the end. This is made so they can cut their webs, because their webs are incredibly strong. But if you slap him, he'll probably slap back and slice your face off. So spiderkin are incredibly dangerous. If you get one, what would the design be? One what? You need to be clear with what you're saying. You're Hungarian? Or you just like the cuisine? I ain't saying where I'm from. It's a mystery forever. But, you know, it's entirely possible that I just like the cuisine of Hungary. It's a popular region. I just want to smack Jesus. You said you're conflicted about the tattoos because you're trying to. Oh, sorry, I'm conflicted about the tattoos because you can't get a tattoo if you want to go into a bathhouse. You can't have tattoos. That's not allowed. So British. Thank you. I try. I try so hard to bring up my Britishness. Do I sound very British? If you could get a tattoo, what would the design be? I was thinking of a pin-up girl. I thought that might be cute. You know, a nice vintage pin-up girl, maybe on the arm, something. Something nice like that. This vintage World War II chair is doing a number on my back. I shouldn't have stolen it from that military base. Oh, goodness. Only one part of that was a lie. You're sounding very cute. Thank you. Hold on. That's why you asked to cover up the tattoos with makeup. You're going into a bathhouse, the makeup's going to run. I like to visit a bathhouse, yes. Are you British? Go drink tea with the Queen. Epic roast. Oh, lovely jubbly. British. The British. Pin-ups could ruin my life. Don't be silly. Pin-up girl. What? Dog worker. What? You're a dog worker in the 1940s. Yeah, you got a problem with that. I draw pin-ups. Okay. Japan. Shit, what? Huh? Sorry, what? Why are you yelling Japan at me? Vintage stuff is awesome. Personally, I like a Victorian and century clothing. Yeah, it's nice. British. Want to draw a pin-up? You can't draw a pin-up of me. You don't know what I look like. You fool. Plus, I'm not very much pin-up material, unfortunately. But, you know, it's very funny. Yeah, my sweater is very comfy, although I call it a jumper. But it's lovely. I really like it. And it's not wool, which I'm actually not very good with. I'm quite allergic to wool. So this is just like cotton, I think. Your voice is so nice. Thank you. Wait, you stole a chair from a military base. I don't think you could prove that. You're actually just screaming, Japan. Are you going to make a face reveal? I think I've mentioned this on nearly every stream I've ever done. This isn't like a dig at you, but I don't think so. Probably because I just think it's not necessary. Dock worker aggressively defends his taste in tattoos. Japan. Wait, what's a bathhouse though? Bathhouse is like a mini pool. It's like a public bath essentially, where you have private ones, but it's like a place you go to have a nice bath. And the baths tend to be very fancy. You know, We know you wear jerseys and have hands. For all we know, you could be a beast in disguise. Light looks like a just to make his face. Swear, jump, pin up. Favorite part of history. Favorite part of history. Oh, the middle bit. That's the strangest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, so what's your favorite part of history? Oh, probably like 1267, So nice to have more British accents on YouTube. Gets me bullied for being British yet less. Well, I'm glad I can do a good British. We love a mystery. Face reveals are really not necessary. I agree. He got bathhouse ASMR roleplay. You literally just plug your own videos in for explaining bathhouse. Looks really pretty. They're very nice, aren't they? Kind of got like a fancy southern kind of thing going on. I don't think American accents are very good on me. The most I've done, I think, is Kato, who was a centaur. I think he was southern. He kind of was like, y'all better stop. The most I've done, I think, is Kato, who was a centaur. I think he was southern. He kind of was like, y'all better stop. And someone in the comments kindly yelled at me that y'all means plural, and I was like, I don't give a shit. And then another one I did was the Frostels kind of have like a Valley Girl accent, and that's almost American. So they kind of have that. I plead to go back to the days where streamers didn't feel the need to put a face cam all the time. Bless those with accents. Fun fact: everyone has an accent. You can't be monotone. You have an accent. Are you British or Irish? The accent throws me off. I like that you've nailed it down. I'm either British or Irish. Maybe the way I say Ireland will help you and determine what I am. He's human, we think. His hands are so cute. What makes my hands cute? Oh god. He doesn't reveal much about his accent. I suppose I don't. Doesn't really matter though, Is it really that much of an enigma? Where do you guys think I'm from? That's actually an interesting question to ask. Where do you think I'm from? I'd love to get your input on where you think this voice kind of emanates from. What part of the world? Sorry, just stretching. Some talking about the accent. Conversation has begun new. I love the Irish accent so much. So we got Australia and New Zealand. Okay. So I don't think I've been called a New Zealander before. New Zealanders kind of have this accent though. They kind of sound a bit more, even when they're subdued like this. They kind of have a bit more of a defined accent, eh? So I understand if you might think that I might be Kiwi, but I'm not actually. This is more Takawatiri kind of thing. So that's as best I can do as a New Zealand accent. British, of course. British accent. What do you mean British? There's 4 countries in there. Pick one. Well, you have fooled England as an English person myself. Great, that's great. I'm probably English then, right? If I've tricked you. Bosnia. I feel like you've been around a bit all over the world. Australia, no way. Why can't I be Australian? I could say I sound. I can sound a bit Australian. I can do an Australian kind of soft boy country. You sound like you're from a very fancy place. I am not from a fancy place. Oh, I'm from New Zealand. British. How'd my New Zealand accent go? English? Yeah, possibly. Hey, the Kiwi accent was pretty good, eh? I'm trying my hand and trying to make it better. But it's it's very hard because it's actually quite a unique accent. Look, I think it's kind of probably harder than Australian accents, and those are like notoriously hard, eh? You know? The other guy who was doing the Clone Wars, all the different clones, he couldn't even do a Kiwi accent, so he ended up doing Australian. I think he's from England or Ireland, and his accent changes from time to time. Definitely America. It's entirely possible. Nice nails. Can't fuck it up, they'll insult me. So mean, and if I fuck it up, they'll insult me. So, for a for a French accent, you kind of need to just like put on this kind of. I know this is going to sound stereotypical, but it's the only way I've known to do a French accent. It's like, the people in France, they didn't really take to me too much. So this is the best I can do. I think you traveled a lot, so you could have picked up an accent from different places. Okay, so travel when I was young. I don't know, this is just interesting for me to learn where you think I'm wrong. Honestly, the Kiwi accent is painful to pull off. Barely anyone can do it. Yeah, I agree with it, but I think I'm doing a fucking good job, eh? I'm actually quite proud of how well I was doing there. Australian accents are a lot more lax in comparison. How's my Australian accent? Does it sound alright? Like, you just kind of nasal it a bit, but it's not like. Some people decide to go all the way, but I think it's like a lot more lax than that. So this is my like full-on larrikin Australian accent. How do you think I'm doing? 29 Grove Street, Liverpool. You trying to dox me? Is it? Can you please sing it for me? This cheese is fresh, not English. Sorry, that one did something for me. Have you mastered all accents? America can't do it, so not all of them. Fave color: purple and orange. Yeah, Kiwi accent. Yeah, no, your Kiwi accent is very poggers. 100%. How funny would it be if this is my actual accent and I'm just fucking with you, and like all the other accents are fake? Because I don't know, they would be pretty funny, eh? Like if my actual accent was Kiwi and it was just like putting on a bunch, like I was doing every other accent but Kiwi for all my channel shit, you know? They'd be pretty funny, eh? I don't know. The only accent I could do for a long time is Russian because I had to tutor a long time with Russian. Like Russian is kind of almost this monotone. It's almost kind of sounds Hungarian. It's best I can figure. I love these live streams. Yeah, I'm having a great time. So it's you just the avatar of accents. Have you tried a Spanish Latino accent? Spanish. I know in Spain they lisp on the S. I don't think that's a thing in Mexico or at least like that kind of area. But I know in Spain they kind of lisp on the S, or at least slightly more. So in certain syllables, they'll be like, I think it might be Espanol instead of Espanol. It might be a softer S on that, but I can't be sure. I'm still working on my Spanish accent. I can't trust you anymore. That sounded great. Can I speak Spanish? I can't speak Spanish. Not well at all, but I can maybe attempt the accent. So it's kind of like the Spanish accent is kind of this like softer Espanol kind of is back of the throat. As best I can figure, it's kind of like this. Spain is a beautiful place. It's actually really wonderful, and that's the best I can figure for Spain. I'm still learning that. Spain's wonderful though, lovely. It's fun. Seems beautiful. Russian, Russian feels so cute. I mean, it is a thing, like in Espanol, like they have certain words. I don't know which words they are, but I know they have words where they go like th. They have a th syllable. Do you know German accent? Oh God, don't make me. Germans really get lumped hard with bad accents. You know, you got the effeminate German, like Nazi kind of thing, but like the actual German accent. It's gonna be tricky because I have German friends and I don't want to upset them. So as far as I can figure, German accent's kind of like it's kind of this. Nah, fuck it. German accent is kind of like more stilted, and it's I'm trying to like harness Hans Gruber from the film. I can't do a really good German accent, but I'm attempting to do it now. Germany's great though. I fucking love Germany. Can you speak any language besides English? Unfortunately, I really can't at the moment. I'm learning, but I'm not there. You sound Mexican in TV dramas who speak English when something dramatic is about to happen. I'm going to take that as an absolute win. Who is this man? Have you done voice acting classes or something? No, I haven't. Weirdly, I just know how to do them if I listen to something. It's so weird how many different Spanish sounds from Mexican Spanish. Yes, they are incredibly different. That's like people are kind of ignorant to that. Spain and Mexico are like very different places. They have the same origin point. They speak the same language, but differences are phenomenal. Barcelona. Yeah, Barcelona. That's it. I fucking knew it. You can use voices for evil. Like when you get. Oh yeah, I can do spam calls. Hold on. The number you, the number you have dialed is out of reach. Please try again later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Please press again. Like that kind of thing. I do that a lot when I get fucking scam call. I go, like, you are trying to reach John Mowat. Please say your name after the tone. You are trying to reach Sarah Marshall. Please say your name after the tone. Anyway, I think that's where we should wrap it up. Peace, everyone.